What is going on, YouTube? We're back. Arrows Gaming back on YouTube, and we're also back on Digimon. I've once again started playing Digimon. A lot of the reasons why I stopped playing Digimon before was it was getting a little too expensive with all the promos, certain decks needed to run. But now after talking with Mario, it seems like it's a much cheaper game, and Imperialdramon is a thing. So Imperialdramon is one of my favorite Digimons, and I've been watching a lot of deck profiles. And so we're going to be building a rough draft with some stuff that we picked up from Mario. We got 2 of the Imperialdramon starter decks and 1 of the Ultra Force Vmon starter decks, because I need the 2 Hammer Sparks out of it. So we're going to build a very rough draft of this deck. Obviously, I'll probably still be missing some stuff, and we'll talk about that at the end of the video. But we got a deck profile ready for you guys to go. I'm super excited to be back into Digimon. When my work schedule allows it, we are going to be entering some online Digimon events. I'm really, really excited. I love Digimon, and I only really stopped playing it before because, I'm playing Pokemon. Pokemon was getting expensive. Digimon was getting expensive. So now we're back, and I'm really excited. So let's hop in and show you guys what we're playing to start. Let's go. Alrighty. So as you can see, we are running. We have our deck ready to go. So we are playing Imperialdramon. Guys, I've been watching so many Imperialdramon videos. The deck looks like so much fun. It's one of the best decks in this format. Obviously, this version is not going to be one of the best decks in this format at the start. I do have some cards that we still are looking for, but I wanted to get a rough draft going on so I can maybe hook up with people and have some webcam battles, play some games IRL. So I'm really excited to get into this. We're just gonna jump right into it right away. We'll set this over here for now, and let's just talk about the Digitamas. So we're running 3 of the BT3 Demi Vmons and 1 of the starter deck Ultra Force Vdramon Demi Vmons. The BT3 ones, I actually want to run 4 of the BT3 ones, but I don't have a 4th one for some reason. I could have sworn I did. At the time of making this deck, I was like, oh, I don't have a 4th one of these, but here we are. So this one is amazing. So it's inherited effect, so all the Digimon that will be on top of this one will get this ability. When I'm attacking, if the Digimon that's attacking has jamming, I get to draw a card. This one is kind of okay as well. Its inherited ability says that when I'm attacking, during my turn, while I have 8 or more cards in my hand, the Digimon that's over top of this gets 1,000 DP. So not terrible. And then we're rounding out our Digitamas with Upamon. When attacking, once during my turn, if there are Digimon on my opponent's side of the field with no Digivolution cards underneath it, we get to draw a card. So this right here is like the basic blue egg lineup. Almost everything you see will probably run these, unless they don't have jamming, then you can throw something else in here. But almost every deck will be running like these because they're just really good. And this guy's not that bad either. So those are the Digitamas. Let's get into the deck itself. So I'm really excited for this, you guys. So we are running 4 copies of the the starter deck 9 Vmon. So this digivolves from a blue or a green. So if you want to do mess around with green digi eggs, you could, because you'll be able to digivolve this Vmon on top of it. Or if it's blue, you can digivolve this Vmon on top of it. Digivolution cost is 0, but to play it is cost of 3. You're probably you're gonna want to play this one unless you absolutely don't have a choice. On play, so not when you put it in the breeding area. On play, or not when you digivolve it. So on play, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and take a Digimon with the free trait and add it to your hand. 90% of this deck is free trait Digimon. So you're almost always going to hit something. And then we're running 4 copies of the EX1 Vmon. This one has an inherited ability. Once per turn, when this Digimon becomes unsuspended, I gain 1 memory. This one only digivolves on a blue, which is why we're not running green eggs. This one only digivolves on a blue. It's a 3 cost to play it, but this will probably be what we want to digivolve into a solid 90% of the time. And then we're running 3 copies of the BT2 Vmon. Again, it's a 0 cost to digivolve onto a blue egg, 3 cost to play it. Its inherited effect is during once per turn, when this Digimon becomes unsuspended, I get to draw a card. And I'll explain why those unsuspended abilities are important as we progress in the video. Ending out our Vmons, we're running 1 copy of the BT3 Jamming Vmon. Now, normally when you attack a security in Digimon, if a Digimon is flipped over and it is higher DP than your Digimon gets discarded to the trash. If your Digimon has jamming, it doesn't get destroyed. So we can attack with this, get a security quickly, and if it's Digimon, we don't lose the Vmon, which is really cool. Rounding out our rookies at 14, we're running 2 copies of Madoki Betamon. Madoki Betamon is a real good card. It is a 3-drop, Digivolves for 0 on a blue egg. On all turns, when it's in play, my opponent can't gain memory except with Tamer effects. So, really good card. 14 rookies. Moving into our champions, we are running 4 copies of the EX1X Vmon. It has jamming, which is awesome, and it digivolves from a blue or a green. Again, not that that really matters. All of our deck is blue, but if you wanted to mess around with like some green cards, you could theoretically. So, really cool stuff, like Wormmons or stuff like that. It also has an inherited ability on my turn. If this Digimon's name is Imperialdramon or has a free trait, it gets jamming. Jamming is good. And we got 4 copies of Stingmon. This is a green Digimon, but it also digivolves from blue, which is fantastic. We can digivolve it onto our Vmons if we need to. When you would play this card from your hand, if we have a blue Digimon, we can reduce its cost by 1. So if we're going to play without digivolving and there's a blue Digimon on the field, we can play it for 3 instead of 4, which is fantastic. And its inheritable effect is if you have a blue Digimon in play when you're attacking, you can draw a card. So if we digivolve this, if we have a blue Digimon, in play. So if we have a blue Digimon in play and we attack, we get to draw a card. Fantastic. And then rounding out our champions, we are running 3 copies of Lightdramon. I hate that they renamed this from Raydramon. If you guys are Digimon fans, you know that in Season 2, Davis's Vmon digivolved with the Digi-Egg of Friendship to become Raydramon, the Storm of Friendship. They changed the name. They made it Lightdramon. I don't know how I feel about it. I do know how I feel about it. I hate it. Okay, so what this does is you can digivolve it for 3, or if you digivolve it onto a Vmon, you can digivolve it for 2. It has Armor Purge. When this Digimon would be destroyed, I can remove one of its Digivolution materials to keep it alive. And when digivolving, I can suspend one of my opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So we can play it, suspend a champion, maybe a blocker, and yeah. We can play it for 2 on a Vmon. If it's going to get deleted, we can get rid of it. We can get rid of an armor, Digivolution cost to keep it alive. Heading into our ultimates. Now, this is where the deck is going to change a lot when we get ordering some more cards. Right now, we're running 4 copies of Imperialdramon. Imperialdramon is hella good. It digivolves for 4, or if you have a green Digimon and a blue Digimon in play, you can put them under the stack and you can digivolve it for 0. So right off the bat, this is where and it's a green and a blue. So right off the bat, if you get a Stingmon underneath there, you're going to be drawing cards when you attack, which is fantastic. Because it's a free trait, when there's an X-Vmon under there, you're going to be able to draw a card. You're going to have jamming, which is going to trigger your Demi Vmon, which is going to let you to draw. You're going to be drawing so many cards off of this card. Fantastic. And then it also has its, when you DNA Digivolve, you can return a Digimon with 6,000 or less DP to the bottom of your opponent's deck. And then once per turn, I can unsuspend this Digimon when I'm attacking. So we can Digivolve it. It'll have jamming. We can attack, hit a security. It's going to live. We can unsuspend it. We can attack again. Really good card. Really, really good card. And keep in mind that if there's a Stingmon under there and an X-Vmon under there, you're going to have jamming. You're going to be drawing 2 cards, 1 card off of Demi Vmon, 1 card off of Stingmon, because it is a green and a blue Digimon. So, excellent. And we're also running 4 copies of Dino Beamon. It is a 4 Digivolution, but the same thing as Imperialdramon. If we have a green and a blue, we can Digivolve for 0, put everything underneath. This one's not as good as Imperialdramon. Not Imperialdramon, as Imperialdramon, but it will help us we can play for free, and it will let us have some advantage. When digivolving, you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and when you're DNA digivolving, that Digimon does not unsuspend. And then its inherited effect is this Digimon gets plus 1,000 for each of its colors. So if we digivolve an Imperialdramon on this, because it's green blue as well, we're going to get plus 2,000. So it is good, but it's not as good as Imperialdramon. Ideally, these are probably going to become Chimeramons from BT8. I'll show you guys what Chimeramon does in a minute, but that is ideally what we are going to be going for this. These will be replaced by Chimeramons. Then heading into our level 6s, we are running 3 copies of Imperialdramon Dragon Mode. This card is a 13 to play, 4 Digivolution. When digivolving, you may play 1 level 4 or lower blue and 1 level 4 or lower green Digimon from this card's Digivolution stack onto your field. So what you could do is you could play an XVmon and an Imperialdramon. I don't know why you would, but you could play, or I know the popular play is to play a Stingmon and a Madoki Betamon. So that way, Madoki Betamon's on the field. Your opponent won't gain Tamer effect, memory gaining outside of Tamer effects. Then you have another Stingmon. You can go into another Imperialdramon and just keep going. This deck can rush your opponent's security stack very, very well. And then we have 2 copies of Imperialdramon Fighter Mode. It is a 5 Digivolution cost from a green or blue, or if the Digimon name contains Dragon Mode. So what we could do is we could play Dragon Mode, and if we still have memory left, we could play this for 2 and do crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. And its ability is really good too. So its ability is, when digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 DP or less to its owner's hand. And then if a blue card is in this Digivolution card, we can unsuspend one of my Digimon. So we can unsuspend in Fighter Mode and attack again. And if there's a green in a stack, we can suspend one of our opponent's Digimon. Really good card. Really good card. Now, a lot of these decks are running Imperialdramon Paladin mode. I don't have one right now. So we are running a Chaosmon, just one. This is just a placeholder. So till we get Imperialdramon Paladin mode, and we can mess around with Imperialdramon Paladin mode. But Chaosmon is a good card in itself. So it digivolves for 6 on top of green or black. But all of our big cards we can digivolve off of dual as a blue-green, so we will be able to make that effect. Unsuspend this Digimon, then it can attack your opponent's Digimon. It can attack unsuspended Digimon as well, and has piercing. So, really good card. We can use it to keep additional pressure on if we need to. It's just here as a placeholder right now until we get Imperialdramon Paladin mode. Then heading into our Tamers and option cards, we're running 3 copies of Davis. Davis is a blue memory tamer. It's a 4 cost to play. We can reveal the top 3 cards of our deck, and we can add 1 blue and 1 green Digimon among them, and put the rest on the bottom of our deck in any order. And at the start of our turns, we will be at 3 memory. And then its security effect, if we pop it from security, we get to play it for free. Then we're running 2 copies of Davis Motomiya and Ken Ichijoji. If I have a blue Digimon in play, we gain a memory. If I have a green Digimon in play, we gain a memory. If we have a Digimon that is both blue and green, we get 2 memories. And then when one of my Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with 2 or more colors, I may suspend this Tamer to unsuspend that Digimon. Really good card. And rounding out our Tamers, we're running 2 copies of Mimi Tachikawa. It is another memory tamer, so we can't stack memory tamers, so we're just going to be at 3 no matter what. But if we have a level 5 or higher green Digimon in play, which would be Imperialdramon, which would be literally anything after we digivolve from champion, so Dinobimon, Pyldramon, Imperialdramons, good stuff. We can hatch an additional egg, so if we've moved an egg up that turn, if we move the Digimon out of breeding to the field in that turn, we can suspend Mimi to play another egg and keep going and keep drawing cards. Never forget, every time you digivolve in this game, you get to draw cards, and drawing cards is very important. Then we are running 2 copies of Hammer Spark. Ideally, I would like 2 more copies of this, but I don't know what I would cut. If you guys have ideas, let me know. It's a 0 cost to play. We gain a memory, and if it hits from security stack, we get 2 memory, which is exciting. This could potentially, if our opponent's at like 1 memory and they hit this on stack, we could end their turn right away. Then we're running 1 copy of Megadeth. Megadeth says suspend 1 opponent's Digimon, then return 1 of your opponent's suspended Digimon to their hand. It's a 5-drop, but if we pop it from security, we get to play it for free. And then 1 hidden potential discovered. This card is hella good. The next time one of our green Digimon digivolves, so keep in mind that Stingmon is green, Lightdramon is blue-green, Imperialdramon is green and blue, Dinobemon is green and blue. When we get Chimeramon, I believe he's all colors. Don't quote me on that. You can digivolve. You can suspend a Digimon and reduce the cost by 5. So if we were going to digivolve into Imperialdramon, it would be 0. And if we were going to digivolve into fighter mode for whatever reason and we didn't want to pay the 2, it would be 0. If we were going to digivolve fighter mode or dragon mode into Chaosmon and we played this card, it is technically only going to be 1 to digivolve. Stuff like that makes a difference, you guys. Makes a difference. So that is it. That is our Imperialdramon deck. I'm super excited to play some Digimon TCG. Let's, if you guys want to play games, you can DM me on any of my socials. We're Arrows Gaming across the board. Links will be in the description below. I would love to try playing webcam games, seeing if I can make this setup any better than it already is. Let me guys know what you think about the Digimon deck, what you would change outside of the cards that I've already mentioned. And yeah. Let's get better at Digimon together, you guys. Don't forget to like and comment and ding the notification bell if you want any of our content to watch. So have a great night, you guys. Stay safe out there. And as always, friends, I will see you when I see you. And have a good night.